Myopia is that of is that form of refractive error in which the rays of light are brought to focus some distance behind the sentinel layer of retina when the eye is at rest. The image formed in this condition is made up of circle of diffusion and is blurred. The patient sees well in the distance and presumes himself to be is positional hypermetropia. If the crystalline lens is dislocated backwards, hypermetropia will occur. Next is the absence of lens. It can be congenital, acquired, or traumatic or surgical. So this is called as aphakia. Optical condition in hypermetropia. The cause of hypermetropia may be any, the optical effect is the same. The parallel rays come to focus behind retina and the diffusion circle which are formed result in blurred and indistinct image. As the axial length is short and retina is near the nodal point, the image is smaller in emetropia. The image is smaller than emetropia. The rays coming from point on the retina of emetropic eye will be parallel on leaving the eye, while in case of hypermetropia, the rays will be divergent and they meet behind the eye. In hypermetropia, formation of clear image of any kind is impossible unless converging power of the optical system is increased either by accommodation or placing a converging lens, that is placing a convex lens in front of the eye. First is simple hypermetropia, next is pathological hypermetropia, that could be senile, index, positional, aphakia, consecutive hypermetropia, and third is functional hypermetropia, which is related to accommodation. So simple hypermetropia, parallel rays of light are brought to focus some distance behind the sentient layer of retina when the eye is at rest. The inheritance is dominant in simple hypermetropia. It affects equally to the both sexes. Components based on accommodation. First is total hypermetropia, which is a combination of latent plus manifest hypermetropia. So latent hypermetropia is the hypermetropia that can be corrected by inherent ciliary muscle tone, and manifest hypermetropia is composed of facultative and absolute hypermetropia. Next is symptoms or clinical features. In hypermetropia of small amount, which can easily be corrected by tone of ciliary muscle, or the accommodation may be asymptomatic. If he has to exert excessive accommodation, the patient will have asthenopic symptoms like blurring at near work, headache. He can also complain blurring of vision for distance also. The predisposing factors are aging, debility, or emotional stress. The temporary failure of the ciliary muscle to maintain contraction result in blurring of vision. The patient may have spasm of accommodation and result in accommodative myopia. The desire for clear image may result in excess accommodation and ultimately leads to imbalance of accommodation and convergence, and struggles to maintain binocular vision lead to more strain. If strain is too much, the fusion is abundant and cross eye sensation develops, that is convergent squint. What are the complications? Recurrent styes, blepharitis, chalazions, accommodative convergent squint, amblyoppias, which can be anisometropic, strabismic, or ametropic. And as I already said, these patients are predisposed for narrow angle glaucoma. So treatment, the main aim is to bring the light rays to focus on retina by convex lens. So if you put a convex lens in front of the eye, the rays coming from the parallel rays coming from the infinity are focused on the light sensitive retina. So fundamental rules, cycloplegic, first is cycloplegic refraction of all the cases of hypermetropic is must, especially in the young patient as they have good accommodation and he may be using excessive accommodation giving rise to symptoms of asthenopia. If the error is small and well compensated and the patient is asymptomatic, no need of active treatment is needed. If hypermetropic error is more than 3 diopter in children, they may have symptoms like itching, rubbing, headache, dislike of dislike for work and study, and feeling of tiring. Then the glasses are advised after full cycloplegic refraction. The absolute hypermetropia needs to be treated. So, gradual increase of refractive error up to 6 months is done. Accommodative convergent squints need to be taken care of, and 6 monthly checkup in children is advised. So, mode of prescriptions of convex lenses. First is spectacles. They are comfortable, they are safe, and they are easy to use. So next is contact lenses. They are commonly used for unilateral hypermetropia. Next is surgical management. The surgical treatment can be in the form of hexagonal keratotomy. It is used for low to moderate degree of hypermetropia. There are the types are confluent, non-intersecting, T-hex, and spiral. Next is hyperopic PRK, where donut-shaped ablation is done, but it causes large epithelial defect. So the image shows the hexagonal keratotomy, and it shows the hyperopic photorefractive keratectomy. Laser thermal keratoplasty, where thallium, holmium, chromium YAG laser is used. Hyperopic LASIK, it claims to correct about 1 to 8 diopter of hyperopia. Next is conductive keratoplasty, contact induced pharmacologically assisted corneal shaping can be done. Phakic intraocular lenses are also used, or clear lens extraction can be done. Aphakia is a condition where there is absence of lens from the eye. Optically, the absence of the lens from the pupillary area is also called as aphakia. Causes can be congenital, surgical, absorption, traumatic, extrusion, or posterior dislocation. So, in the optics of aphakia, there is high hypermetropia. Total power is about 44 diopter. Anterior focal length is 23.2 millimeter. Posterior focal length is about 31 millimeter, and nodal points are 7.7 millimeter. Features of aphakia. Visual acuity in aphakia is theoretically better. Patient sees a large image size. Accommodation in aphakia, bifocal glasses are needed, or which can be given in the form of progressive or varifocal lenses. Binocular vision in aphakia, there is anisoconia, and diplopia can be seen in cases of aphakic patients. Clinical features: marked defective vision for distance and near. There is magnification of object. Roving scotoma or jack-in-box phenomenon are seen, and pincushion effect is seen by the patient. Signs in case of aphakia, there is limbal scar, deep anterior chamber, iridodonesis, jet black pupil, Purkinje images, hyperopic small disc, and retinoscopy shows a high hypertropia. Treatment. The optical principle of the treatment is to correct the error by convex lens of appropriate power so that the image is formed on retina. So that can be done with spectacles, which is most common. Roughly plus 10 diopter lenses are needed. Addition of plus 3 or 4 plus 4 diopter is given for better near vision. So the advantage are it is cheap, easy and safe to use. So to correct the error by convex lens in appropriate power so that the image form on the retina, as I already said, plus 10 diopter lenses are needed with addition of plus 3 or plus 4 for near vision, and they are easy to use. Disadvantages of aphakia: the image is magnified, there are spherical aberration, prismatic effect, restriction of field of vision, then and the cosmetic blemish for because of using of thick convex lenses spectacles. Image magnification is around 30% more. Visual, the objects appear closer. The pincushion effect, it is due to the spherical aberration. The the object viewed through the convex lens, the dotted line in the B is normal, and when the object is seen through the convex lens, the periphery gives a pincushion effect. Roving scotum or Jack-in-box phenomenon, it is present at the 15 degree, and it is due to the prismatic effect. So when a patient moves the eye, he seems to feel like there is sudden appearance of the object in his field of vision. So that is called as Jack-in-box phenomenon. There is restriction of field of vision, both monocular and binocular, which is 50 degree all around. Color vision, he may experience color hues, absence of natural lens filter is there, so chromatic aberrations are seen. The glasses are thick and heavy, so cosmetic blemish is there. Contact lenses, there is less magnification of image, up to 7 to 8%. The prismatic effect and aberration can be eliminated with use of contact lenses. These are wider, this gives wider and better field of vision. These are cosmetically better accepted, better suited for uniocular aphakia. Disadvantage are these are costly and cumbersome to use in old and in children, and corneal complications like corneal abrasions, infections are seen with contact lens users. Next is intraocular lens implantation. It is a best available method and it is most commonly used. Fourth is refractive surgery, keratophakia, where lenticle prepared from donor cornea is placed between the lamellae of patient cornea. So here you can see this is the lenticule made of form which is taken from the donor's cornea and it is placed between the lamellae of patient's cornea. Epikeratophakia, where lenticule prepared from donor cornea is stitched over the surface of the cornea. So the lenticule stitched over the patient's cornea. Pseudophakia, the condition of aphakia when corrected with implant of intraocular lens, it is referred as pseudophakia. Refractive status of the eye is emmetropic. or there could be consecutive myopia or consecutive hypermetropia. Types of intraocular lenses are anterior chamber lenses and posterior chamber intraocular lenses. So, what are the signs of there is surgical limbal scar, slightly deep anterior chamber, mild iridodonesis. There is a shining reflex due to the intraocular lens. The advantages of intraocular lens: the lens is placed at its anatomical position, there is minimal image magnification, there is no spherical or prismatic aberration, no anisoconia, and rapid return to binocularity. The field of vision in the peripheral field of vision is normal. Good hand and eye coordination with intraocular lenses, freedom from handling of optical devices like thick spectacles or contact lenses, and these are cosmetic well accepted. Disadvantage: as it is a surgical procedure, there are risk of complication. It requires trained surgeons and sophisticated instrument, and cost is also the another factor. Coming to pathological hypermetropia, the pathological refractive errors are as those refractive anomalies determined by the presence of optical system of the eye of an element which is outside the limit of normal biological variation. Pathological hypermetropia is due to shortening of the axis or the flattening of the cornea. 1 millimeter of shortening produces about 3 diopter, and 1 millimeter flattening of the cornea or reduction in the curvature results in 6 diopter of hypermetropia. Cornea plana is a developmental anomaly where the corneal power may be as low as 28 diopter. It is associated with mild development of macula, thickening of retina in the central part, hypoplasia of fovea. A progressive hypermetropia is an indication of retroocular lesion, intraocular neoplasm, exudates, or detached retina. Acquired hypermetropia, where the tendency to hypermetropia may be observed after the operation for reposition of retina, injury to cornea, subluxation of lens, deep anterior chamber in iridocyclitis, changes in refractive index. Thank you.